News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And top of the morning to you. This is Newsline. We're live, as always, from the News First studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And today we have a very important guest. He's a presidential candidate, and he's right here with us, General Mahesh Senanayake. Very good morning to you, and welcome to Newsline.
Very good morning.
Thank you very much for being here. General, I know you're retired, but I wanted to ask you this. Is the world of politics a light years away from the world of the military?
I believe war is extension of politics.
Right.
So though we do not get involved in politics when you are in uniform, we fight because of politics. So we have some exposure to politics in different terms. So during my 38 years of long career, I believe I have seen politics. I have felt politics, but I have not done politics.
Because anyway, you would have been precluded from that.
Yes, we are loyal to any government be selected by the masses, the population of the country. That is our responsibility to safeguard this nation.
In your 38 years of service, has Sri Lanka ever come close to having a military takeover?
Not the exact words of military taking over, but what I learned in history, it has been something like that in 1960s, early 80s, 60s, but not during my tenure after I joined the army in 1981. But 2018, when there was a constitutional crisis, the people tested the loyalty of the armed forces. There had been a problem between the both parties, for that matter. There may be His Excellency the President and the Cabinet or the Parliament, but I stood very firm with the armed forces that we do not get involved even in that particular time for politics, and we wanted and we advised both parties to resolve their problems in under the judicial system, not let the military comes and get involved, because the democracy, the preserving the democracy is our prime.
Thank you for that clarification there. And on Newsline, as we do on Newsline Prime, we do encourage you to send us your questions by SMS only, please. 0772 300 305. And I'm sure our control room's putting that up on your screen right now. And we are, of course, in conversation with the presidential candidate from the National People's Party, General Retired Mahesh Senanayake. Does that mean that there was a real possibility during the crisis, the constitutional crisis?
I do not say it was a possibility, which was never in our wildest dreams.
No, maybe not on the side of the military, but were there political overtones or overtures?
That was the cry of some of the people in our society.
Right.
But we were a very professional army. We never wanted to get involved in that. So that 52 days, we wanted to ensure that our professionalism is maintained and exhibited to the international community as a professional army, and the Navy and the Air Force for that matter. That is the very reason that we did not get involved, but we had constructive discussions with both the groups.
And General, after 38 years in the army, where you've led a very structured, disciplined life, and perhaps self-control was the key word, what possesses you to use up your retirement and the quality time that you may well be spending with your children, your wife, without the army looking over you? What possesses you to play with that very special time and enter politics? Why?
During my 38 years of service, I should say, though I was out of the army for 5 years, as a victim of circumstances due to the political situation at that particular time in 2010. I came back in 2015 again, and I was the commander of the army for 2 years and 2 months. The day that I retired, I was very happy. I felt that I have done my part to the country as a Sri Lankan. After retirement, I was studying what happened to all of us in this country. I realized why we have been suffering for the last 71 years is because of a system failure. It includes the political culture of this country. People are divided in all forms of avenues, approaches. You take anything, whether it is ethnicity, whether it is religious, whether it is economy, whether it is education, you name it. Everything we have been divided. It has been the method that many people used for last 71 for them to rule. So I realized, how can I tell my children after commanding an army, daughter, son, this country is not safe, country is not progressing, you go out. You speak to many youngsters in the country today, people are not happy of what's been happening.
How old are your children?
They are late 20s.
What, do they feel that this country isn't safe for them, or that it doesn't have a future for them?
That's what they have been discussing, because I meet their
Their
friends
peers, yeah.
always, and as a commander and a soldier, I've been meeting people outside. It's true that they feel that they are confident on the armed forces, but overall, that insecurity is a factor. So at that particular time, I was thinking, how could I ensure we address the aspirations of the people? One is insecurity, the progress, the development, sustainable development. Then that is the very reason I have decided to get involved in a different field and not with a major political party.
This field, politics, in Sri Lanka especially, is, let me put it this way, if the military shines in all its glory and the youth look up to this and say, wow, I'd like to join the military, or the army, the navy, the air force, the police, I'd like to. And that if that is a shining example of what people aspire to be, then politics must be the equal opposite of that.
Exactly.
Politics has come to a position where no right-thinking parent will want their children, or they shouldn't be jumping up and joining. It will only be alarm bells if their kid turns up one day and says, you know what, I want to be a politician. So why enter this sort of pit of snakes and whatever?
I have entered into this new game not to take power, not to take revenge from anyone. I have entered here to initiate actions to make a change in the system. When you take politics in Sri Lanka, it's a fact that miserably we have failed due to the systems or the politics that we have been practicing from 1948 to today. So that is the very reason I want to initiate or get the masses to understand we need a different political culture. Then only we can go equal to soldiering, what you said, the two opposite camps. That could be made closer with my discipline, which I got it from the military, with my leadership, with the exposure experiences that I have get involved in crisis management. And that's a tool, it's a factor for us to come back onto a new set of rules, games, and bring it to a profession where people start respecting.
In a time, and it has been going on since the end of the terrorist problem, where the international community are supposedly unhappy with Sri Lanka's performance in terms of its human rights record. Various allegations of departures from due process and so on. Some even suggest genocide and all that. As a soldier, as a citizen of Sri Lanka as well, does it make you sad that these claims are constantly there and that nothing appears to be done about it?
I have been a part of this war
Yeah.
for 30 years. I have been working under the commanders as directors in planning, executing operations, but I could say that there was no such incident took place. These are only allegations. But unfortunately, last 9 years we could not answer. When I say we as a country,
Yeah.
not the military,
Yeah.
the country could not answer in a very positive and a hard way against those allegations, number one. Secondly, so many commissions were established, studied, recommendations were made. Did we adopt or did anything on those recommendations which were solid to clear the name of officers and soldiers who fought for the country? It did not. There may be very other reasons among the authorities. That includes the politicians, but it is not the military. The government or the masses, they want the rulers to do it. It did not take place. That the very reason after 9 years, 10 years, these allegations are coming up again and again. Every year, twice minimum in Geneva or in New York. It happens, continue to happen, unless otherwise we address them and take firm action. I don't say no war has fought with zero casualty,
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah.
But if there's something has happened, there have been inquiries. Take action.
But I mean, I hear what you say, but there are some things that simply haven't been done. There have been videos available with purportedly people in uniform. Surely the HR division of the military would have been able to spend hours looking through them and identifying these purported soldiers. And if they didn't, if they were some other force purporting to be military people, then issue a statement and nip it in the bud. Why this sort of lackadaisical, I don't care, you know, I'm the king and I don't care what you peasants say? Why?
That's what really went wrong. We have to understand that we as a country cannot live in isolation. We are under globalization. We cannot exist only as Sri Lanka and Sri Lankans. So whenever there is a requirement to address, they should be far in advance, they should be doing it. When the war was going on, there were other group of people who were supposed to be doing it, not the soldier. I don't agree with the videos, the clips that the people talk about.
Yeah.
There is no surety, guarantee to say that is only from the Sri Lankan military.
Exactly.
But same time, there were so many, if somebody wants to use the genocide or kills done by the terrorist,
Yeah.
that includes what happens in the south, not only in the north and east.
Yeah.
Those are not battlefields.
Yeah.
North and east was a battlefield. What happened in Colombo? What happened at Aurantalawa? What happened at Anuradhapura? All Anuradhapura, Srima Bodhi. All those were Kandy.
Yeah.
Those are incidences. So have we take action on that?
Yes, and that's the problem. The international community are driven obviously by people with different agendas. And why is there, you know, they're just focusing towards the end of the war? But their problem was 29 years and more.
Yes.
So I think if you're going to look at it, you need to look at it. You need to look at the whole picture,
Definitely.
not only here.
Not only one, the end.
Yeah.
So that had been a long war, as you said.
Yeah.
So every other day, every week, every month, something would have happened.
Yeah.
So it is the responsibility, not only the military for that matter. There are so many agencies
Yeah.
within the government structure who should be doing it. It
Yeah.
may be, for example, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who takes in charge of situations, the commissions that they have done. That's why I said commissions were done. If they have found anybody responsible, we would have taken a local action. We don't have to wait for international interferences that.
Yeah.
This is not the only country in the world that had been war. So many, every day something is happening in the world. So since we are a small country in that sense,
Yeah.
we have been pushed to a corner. So I should say the soldiers and officers are not on their private wars. It was a war, bloody war. That particular time something has gone wrong, yes, as a country, the responsible people would have taken action.
How big is our military?
It is closer to 200,000 army alone. But it is like, that is inclusive of our
Do you
killing
think,
action.
do you think all our Kollos are going to vote for you?
Say again?
Do you think all our Kollos in the
I believe they understand.
Yeah.
They understand who I am
Yeah.
and what I have contributed to the army for 38 long years and what I have done to the betterment of the organization and to the country at the command of the army.
What's the morale of the army when you left it?
I should say I transformed the army, a combat soldier to a peacekeeping soldier.
That must have been difficult.
Very difficult task, but combat soldier to a reconciliation soldier. For example, in the north, maybe few politicians are shouting and making cry about getting out of the army. Army should be out of their soil. But you speak to the public, whether it is north or east, they have accepted that is their Sri Lankan army. It is not a Sinhalese army. So that is the engagement that we have. There's so much of social work and engagement that we have done for last many years, and especially during 2 years and 2 months, and I had the commander Jaffna, Churi's commander, had definitely changed the perceptions of the civilian population.
In your bid to become the president of Sri Lanka, what do you see as, how are you going to address the big issue? We are told that the biggest issue is the economy. How do you intend addressing that?
What is our vision? To have a flourishing country, Sri Lanka, that includes
Yeah.
all ethnicities are united, understand each other with values. A Sri Lankan with values, what we have lost today is that.
Right.
And getting together and going forward and marching forward
Yeah.
to get a prosperous Sri Lanka in time to come. Yes, economy is important. Same time, national security is also important. If the national security is not being addressed, and if the people of this nation do not understand why we should live together, then we will not be able to reach the economical targets.
Somebody said the other day, if you want happiness, you need to be ready for war.
I believe so. There is no war, that is the dream of any soldier, any citizen.
Right.
But to ensure, that is not only physical war that we are talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the food security, environment security, health security, all that belongs to this. If the country is not healthy,
But
that
obviously, General, sorry to interrupt you, but obviously the country is a very sick patient, if you like. Corruption is endemic. There is regular departures from due process. There are regular lies put forth by the most senior politicians in our country. And yes, I am referring to the statement made by dear Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, in which he said that the loan for the Hambantota port is not being serviced, meaning that he's paid it all off. It's absolute tosh, complete tosh. The Prime Minister, unfortunately, was lying, because that loan is very much alive and the government of Sri Lanka is paying. So we don't know what happened to the money. It probably went into the consolidated fund and then just disappeared through your fingers. That's just an example. How do you correct this culture of corruption? It's almost as though a politician comes into power and thinks, right, well, what are the deals?
when you take the legal system existing today, it has provisions, but they need some changes. For a simple example, in any government sector or a public sector for that matter, always the chief financial officer and the secretary is responsible. Everything stops at that level. But the people who take the real decision are the politicians, the ministers. The day that we make amend our legal framework to ensure that particular politician is responsible, whole thing will get changed. Today what happened, this is the mentality what we got from 1948. The Britishers who were ruling us,
Yeah.
they were the owners of this land. So everything is made for them to be free, and we have to work as slaves. So legal system is for us, not for them. So they own, they use it, they take money, they take it away. It is the same as today. So that change has to be done. It's only maybe one paragraph or few sentences change requires that the owner should be made responsible.
But yes, because the buck has got to stop somewhere.
That is what I say. That has to be done. Once it is being done, within no time, everything is fall into the correct.
Thank you very much for many questions that have been sent here. I'm just going to read one of them because it really says it all. I totally agree with General Mahesh. The Rajapaksas panicked and did not handle the situation properly. The American explanation of collateral damage applies not only to them but to us too. The US is hypocritical, as before our leaders give an explanation, Bush and Blair have to answer to going into Iraq in a made-up charge which has left the whole world affected. And that is really what this is all about.
Yes.
It was obviously a monumental PR blunder when both the then President and then Defense Secretary both claimed in well-publicized material that there was zero casualties, civilian casualties, instead of saying that they managed to keep the collateral damage to a minimum. And that's what it was, isn't it? Isn't it true to say that there was collateral damage?
Whenever we are planning operations, every time the plan A may not work, plan B. So always we are expecting the unexpected. So all the plans were made in such a way during the war by the military strategist to ensure they are our own people. Whether you are a Tamil or a Muslim in this country, they are Sri Lankans, they are brothers and sisters. We were planning to ensure minimum collateral damage in terms of our firepower. And how effective going to be to ensure they have been, what are the aim of the exercise? To rescue them from the clutches of the LTT. It is not to destroy them, it was to rescue them. That is why it was known as humanitarian operation. So humanitarian operations are not being planned to kill except the adversaries of the LTT, but not the civilians. So it is done in such a way. I always say there cannot be a war with zero casualty, but definitely we are down our level best to ensure there is no unwanted casualties or collateral damage. The way that it has been been informed already, that is due to our negligence of information,
Right.
not giving what we were doing. There is no secrecy in that.
No, but it's just that they didn't address that issue properly.
It would have been the immediate action. Immediate action. You play a match of cricket and next day morning you have a debrief and plan and you reply. But we did not. We took such a long time unnecessarily and allowed the others to make so much of allegations. Now we are on the reaction mode. Would have been proactive at that point.
Rather than reactive.
That was the problem.
I'm going to read one more message from one of our viewers. And thank you very much for participating and being proactive with this program. General Mahesh Senanayake, please intensify your campaign and build your brand. Wish you all the very best. You deserve to be elected. Blessings of the triple gem and Allah's blessings. Thank you for that message. You must have struck a chord.
Yeah. Brand, what we are bringing here.
What's the brand?
Brand is, I am a national candidate. I'm an independent candidate. I don't belong to a political party. I have to use a party just because the system
Demands
doesn't
that.
allow me to contest if I don't have a party. So the brand is Mahesh Senanayake bulb.
The bulb.
Bulb. It is not a party, the important. the bulb is the symbol.
So
And
soon we'll be able to go into a little store in Kalawanchikudi or somewhere rural and say, can I have a 40 watt Mahesh?
That is what the aim should be.
Right.
Bulb means what? It gives light. We are dark today as a country after 71 years. So we are here to give them the light that were looking at. Everybody has in his inner mind the change is required. Everybody talks about the change. Every time they meet, they discuss. Over a party or a cup of tea, over a fag, they talk about the change. Whether it is in the train or the bus or the office or the washroom, they talk about the change of system. So I am here as an independent candidate, as a national candidate, bringing with a team of professionals who are experts in all fields and who are not corrupt. There are no allegations against any one of us, number one. Secondly, we are not politicians. Somebody might ask, what is your political experience? You don't have to be worried about it. I can see what the experienced people have done. So brand is Mahesh Senanayake, the bulb. The bulb will give you the light that the country needs.
So brand good?
I believe.
Okay.
Brand. It's not the symbol itself.
There are some wonderful brands in our country, you know, in the medical field, in the world of UPVC pipes, you know, nod, nod, wink, wink. We know that. But these are wonderful brands
Yes.
that have been built up, homemade.
Yes.
You know, Eslon is homemade
Yes.
brand. So people, when they ask for Eslon pipe, it usually means a UPVC.
Yes.
You know, so these are wonderful brands, and I honestly wish you well in your quest to take Sri Lanka out of the darkness that we appear to be in on a number of fronts: financial, corruption,
Health, transport,
health,
you name
transport,
it.
everyone. I mean, I can't see why people in the rural areas have to walk 5 to 8 kilometers to get to the nearest hospital or their nearest clinic to get their free medicine, which they will take, like say if you've got diabetes. I can't see why the provincial governors can't arrange for a transportation service, a regular transportation service, which every month will see these buses going, these mobile clinics going around. It doesn't need much, you know, the blood test, the pressure, the eye test, something, you know, the ECG, something like that.
Yes.
And to deliver the tablets that you need every month. If they do this at the provincial levels, and, you know, they've got enough of money.
Definitely.
They've got enough of money.
It is
well,
not utilized properly,
yeah.
and immediately action plan is you can curtail, and 25% that could be stopped and utilized for other projects to build the standards of the living.
Well, there you go. Newsline, thank you for interviewing, so on and so forth. Many, honestly, thank you very much indeed for all your questions. Most of all, thank you, General Mahesh Senanayake. Thank you for your efforts over 38 years to make our country as safe as it is now.
Thank you very much.
And on behalf, I think, of all our viewers, of all the people, we honestly want to say thank you. And especially from our network, we want to say thank you, and thank you again for making Sri Lanka the safe place as it is and enabling all of us to at least vie for democracy again.
Thank you.
General Mahesh Senanayake, thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline. Take care, have a wonderful day ahead of you, and of course, God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.